Welcome back, everybody, to our Let's Play of Phantasy Star 3 for the Sega Genesis. I am Drak, he is Shadow, and we are on our way back to Aquatica after fixing the weather, because we can do that, apparently.
We did it in the other game.
Yes, we technically did. But we could only do it in this game with a Ren Cyborg. So thankfully we had one. I love it. We'll find out later this, but all cyborgs, basically, in this game are Mu and Ren types. So basically one male and one female type.
Right.
That's not confusing at all. Alright, so we are actually on our way back to Aquatica. Now that we fixed the weather, we don't have the snowy winter wonderland that was that area.
No, we just have the hot desert again.
Yeah, there you go. We turned Hoth into Tatooine. We didn't even think that was possible. But man, the game let us do it. And of course, more battle! More battle! I think we're actually very near the end of the dungeon, so... Yep, this is really close to the end. Look, more rat things! Was that a pout?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm getting through it as fast as I can, Alex. These guys only move so fast.
Actually, I've been watching Let's Play of the remake of the first game, Generation 1, and I'm amazed how fast Alice can move in that now.
Oh yeah. I've actually been recommended that game a couple of times just because of the improvements that were made on it.
Yeah.
Story makes more sense, and the characters get a little bit more backstory to them. Maybe at some point, since I think they are PSP.
I don't think they're on the PSP. No, they're not.
What are they on?
Technically PlayStation 2, but they never got a import over here, so...
Oh, they never did?
You gotta play them on an emulator.
With the Japanese that I cannot read.
No, there is one English fan translation of the first game. Nobody ever bothered to finish the second, sadly, and I don't think Sega ever made the third, and they definitely didn't make a fourth.
But I do think the Phantasy Star game remakes did make it back to the States. I think there's a PSP game.
There is. It's probably a different game though, but not the Generation remake games.
I'll have to look into that. Hi, Lacus!
Don't you think I already have looked into it, Adam?
I think you have looked into it. I just want to look into it too. I'm just a little confused on it, because I know that I've seen Phantasy Star games on the PSP.
Those are probably new Phantasy Star games, like brand new games, not as opposed to the remakes I'm talking about.
Maybe. Oh look, it's more birds that we're killing. We are such a threat to the environment. Okay, so now that we can use the boat to get across the water, we are going to do that. I love it, we have this ringtone. And here's our ship music for this game.
Dun, 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 dun.
Again, sounds like a ringtone.
Yeah.
Quick, Alex, answer your phone. Okay, so this is actually going to drop us off to two towns, Ago and Shusorin. Now, around this time was actually when I needed to get some grinding done, but I think we're going to stop off in the end before I did that. Mainly because this has some of the best gear that I'm going to be able to get in this generation. I could technically get better, but it's super expensive and way too much of a grind. And to the people who are going to be saying, but it's like the best weapons ever. In the generation they're in, we will get those weapons and armor, because they will make sense. Because we'll actually be getting the money that we need for them. Hey, Lacus! Yep, never gets old. I like calling her Lacus.
Yeah, she really is Lacus.
When will you give me access to the freedom? I wants to have the freedom. I want to have a nuclear-powered Gundam. I'll treat it properly. Alright, so yeah, this is when I got some grinding done, and you'll notice the music changed. I'm
Suddenly
actually
ominous.
Yes, exactly. I am now in the town of Shusoren. And in Shusoren is actually where we need to be to further the story. But now that I have gotten the grinding done, we are perfectly fine.
You know, we haven't done any planet hopping, have we?
Not in this game.
Yeah.
And you'll find out why later. There's actually a reason we haven't. Okay, so back into Shusoren, and we are actually going to continue the story.
I'm starting to see why this game's kind of contested as far as the Phantasy Star games go.
Kind of contested?
Yes. People... There are people who don't like to acknowledge Phantasy Star 3.
It's actually been written out of the continuity.
Yeah.
So... Now, we actually need to get into the castle of Shusoren, and how do we do that? By going through the fountain, of course.
Wow.
Because that makes sense, right?
Yes.
Alright, and this is the point, like usual, where I'm digging out a map because I want to make sure I'm going to the right place. These places get very maze-like after a while.
At least this game isn't as difficult as Phantasy Star 2 was.
Yes, although the later levels will probably get about as labyrinthian as 2 did. No, I've been poisoned! Oh, and people might also notice I got a nice, nifty little weapon upgrade for Ren. I got the ceramic shot, which actually allows for him to shoot at a line of enemies. Not just one, the entire line, whether it be front or back. Which is really cool, because like if you get 6 of those little rat things, you will kill all 6 of them. Very helpful. It allows for people like Reese to kind of focus on the bigger guys in the back. Oh, I just barely noticed that monster's name. It's a fear moose. Because Bullwinkle just puts fear into the hearts of your enemies. Well, that was a waste of a ceramic shot. Oh man, Reese. I just noticed your health. Don't die on me.
Ren gained a level.
Well, Ren needed it. I love it. 15, 16, 14, 2. I wish I could say that this isn't going to be the norm, but it kind of is. Especially, the funniest part about that is Lyle is holding his own and he's level 2. Can somebody please explain that to me? More dungeon hopping. Okay, cool. The entire line will be taken care of by Ren. Bye. I will also honestly admit, in my opinion, compared from 2 to 3, combat happens a lot more in this game. Maybe that's just me, but I seem to be getting in a lot more random encounters in this game. Am I incorrect in this, Alex?
I don't know. It seemed like we got a fair share in... Yeah, in 2.
A lot of them killed us.
I mean, it's RP... Yeah, those enemies were tougher, so they probably just took longer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Alright, so we are now in Shusoren Castle. This is actually where we need to be, but we are going to need to divert one more time to the dungeon to get to the right room. So I'm just making sure I'm going to the right place. And it's taking a little bit. There we go. Of course, combat. Now, I actually did want to give credit to the person that I'm using his Phantasy Star guide. It's actually the same guy we've been using for all of them.
Wow.
I actually like a lot of the guides he did for Phantasy Star. He gets very in-depth, and he also explains, okay, here's where you need to go, and here's why you don't need to buy the weapons, kind of thing. I appreciate that. So I will have to go look him up. I know we've credited him on previous videos, and his name is escaping me right now. But think it's like the Star Kid or something.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it. That's gonna irritate me now. Okay, so now we're going back into... Ugh. Never mind. We're killing these guys. And we have a new enemy, the amoeba.
The amoeba.
Weren't the amoebas like a real big pain in the butt for us in the last game?
Yeah, actually, I think they were. That in the shadows.
Death by amoeba. Only in Phantasy Star. Because in Final Fantasy, you get killed by jelly!
Well, at least amoeba makes sense.
Yes. I'm not kidding. Like, I think it's in the 4th game. There are, like, all these different blob variations. One's called jelly, one's called tofu, one's called, Gak or whatever. It was like a Nickelodeon Gak reference. One's just actually called slime. Yes. And they were the hardest enemies to kill. Why? Because physical damage did nothing to them. You had to kill them with magic. And now we're healing up Mew, because we don't want her dead. We also do not want Reese dead. Yeah. And people might notice I am skipping chests. Reason being, not a whole lot of reason to get them. They will probably have things like antidotes or monomates. Why purchase those when I can purchase them for super... Or
why purchase them?
Why get them when I can purchase them for super cheap?
But why purchase them when you can get them for free?
It's not worth the diversion. Okay, so now we are at the point in Shisoran Castle we need to be. I'm just making sure I've got the map right. So let's continue on with this story. Further down that castle... Oh, well, she looks familiar. People might remember when Reese had to have the epic timeout, because how dare he want to rescue his fiancée? She was the one who actually let him out of jail. It's her! How did she get here?
I found her.
Please help me take her away, Lyle! I was about to say Kyle.
If you want her back, fight for her. I have to leave now. Leave you now, Prince Reese. I'll explain why later, if things work out. Okay, I want Crispin Freeman for the green-haired dude now.
Screw the rules, I have green hair.
Yeah.
Alright, so Lyle has left the party. What a jerk. I mean, sure, he gave us that sapphire and all, but he left the party. Okay, so there is Lyle. Apparently he's guarding the girl. We're not sure why, but we're gonna find out.
As soon as we take out the mermaids.
Yes. Actually, they're more like flower maids. They're growing out of flowers.
I guess so.
Because that's how women grow, right?
Sure,
Because games don't lie to me. Okay, so we're actually getting ready for a bit of a boss fight.
And look, there's Silver Knight over there.
There's Silver Knight. He's watching over Lady Subaru. Except Lady Subaru isn't here. Okay. Here we go. Now it's time to...
Now it's time to see you really fight, Reese.
And boss fight! Well, we got to fight Big Lyle.
Lyle wants to fight.
And it is a one-on-one duel.
I hate the way they keep changing the music.
It really is jarring.
It's like you got this really awesome bass tone, and then it goes da da da.
Wow, Lyle only gave us 1 Mazesta and 1 XP. That's bullcrap.
Cheapskate. You're a lot tougher than I thought, Reese.
And you're not!
Someone wants to speak with you, by the way.
Okay, so at this point, Lyle rejoins the party. Douche. And let's go talk to the new girl. You've come a long way since we last met. Before we get Maya, we must backtrack a bit. Return to Iridia and put my moonstone and Lyle's moon tier into the satellite control system.
And then we can evolve Clefairy.
That will bring the moon back to its proper place. and open a land bridge from the rear gate of this castle to where Maya is being held. And also give us Clefable. Let's go rescue Maya.
Or Wigglytuff.
Or Wigglytuff, yes. Welcome to the party, Lena. Level 1, Lena. Hi, Phantasy Star. Could you please stop giving me level 1 characters when I'm deep in the story? I have no problem with them being like 2 or 3 levels lower than me. Maybe even 5. I'll venture to go as low as 5. But when they're 1... And of course now I have to backtrack all the way out of Shusoran Castle. Back into the dungeons we go.
In other words, we haven't found an escape spell or escape rope or anything like that.
Well, we have an escape pipe, but I really want to keep them for the harder dungeons. That's the thing. Because escape pipes are kind of expensive in this game.
Right.
But thankfully we were able to get through this. Oh yeah, that's actually right. We don't have to worry about enemies this time around because we have liberated the castle somehow. Silver Knight went around and killed everybody for us. That's what happened.
Who's the dark-haired character in Yu Yu Hakusho with the spiky black hair? Hiei, isn't it? Yeah. We just saw Hiei.
We did indeed. We saw Hiei.
So
that's why there's nothing here. He unleashed the Dragon of the Darkness Flame and now they're all dead. Except the castle is still standing for some strange reason. Yet another series I tried to get you to watch and you just didn't get into.
Yeah, it was alright. I can't say I had any complaints. It's just long for my taste.
I will admit, like, up until a certain arc, it's really good. Then it kind of... it falters down a little bit. It's one of those things where it's like a roller coaster for me. Alright, so now that we are out back in Shusoran, we now have our new task. We need to go to the satellite control system, you know, the place where we change the weather.
Right.
And align the celestial planets so that we can evolve Clefairy to Clefable and Mew into Mewtwo, and who else with a Moonstone? Nido Queen and Nido King.
Except Mew doesn't evolve into Mewtwo, Adam.
I do that. I do that. I was saying through the magic of Pokemon evolution. Now, people might notice that if you remember from Phantasy Star 2, Star Mist and Moondew were really hard to come across. In this game, you could get them, but look at their price tag.
Yeah.
5,600 and 8,800. I think we actually will hit a shop later on that will sell them for fairly cheap. And that'll be helpful. Or, well, and by the 3rd generation, we're earning a lot of money. So, that won't be as big an issue.
Yeah, refresh my memory. What are they again?
Star Mist, I believe, is... oh, let's see. Star Mist, I think, is a group heal. And then Moondew, I think, was to restore TP.
Okay. So, an early mono fluid.
Yes, and in this one, it's magic points again, so... Now, at this point, we're also going to be filling up the inventory of everybody, including our new Lena. Because she has nothing to her name right now. And like we said before, the one problem that we have with the Phantasy Star games is back. Character-only inventory. I will say, this is where Final Fantasy succeeded over Phantasy Star. One giant inventory. And I think at this point also we kind of realized that Lena needed better weapons, so we needed to take a minute and grind it out. Yes, we did. So we grinded it out, we got her some more appropriate weapons, so now she can be helpful to us. And now it is time for us to go back to the weather control system.
Dun 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 dun!
Ship music! Seriously, somebody answer their phone. Oh, the joy of really early Genesis music. You just got a text. Nope, those jokes are never gonna get old, people. Get used to them. Alright, and into, out of Aquatica and into Aridia we go, but we will have to do that next time.
Oh.